What's up, guys? It's Mr. Javid, and today we are back on the Pokemon Showdown server. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. Today we're going to be using Grassy terrain spam, something that was pretty common towards the end of Sun and Moon, but not so much. So shout outs to Toast, or Tapeworm as he goes by, or Pablo. I'm not kidding. I don't know if it's Pablo, maybe, but I don't think so. Let me see what the speed here on this. Faster than Mag. Does that matter? I'm gonna pump everything in there. I think having this as a Cinderace answer supersedes that. I can outplay Mag. I think. I hope. But no. So yeah, Grassy Terrain Spam and something that is super underrated, which is Magnezone. It's super funny, and Urshifu is being suspected. And so it's super funny to see how certain things have fallen out of grace, not because they're any worse. They actually could technically be better, but, people just still are in that experimental phase, which is just a testament to the juiciness of the metagame, and how many more unexplored pieces there are. So it's a good sign for the life of the meta. Definitely let me know how you guys are enjoying and what underrated threats you have that you've been using recently. So immediately when I look at this team, I'm like, okay, well, Finny would have been great, but now it won't be. That's not completely true. If I kill Dracozolt, then it will be. So Landorus's core purpose is going to be to guard against his two electrics primarily. Primarily Dracozolt, because that's a little more annoying to deal with. But primarily that, I'm Banded Bulu without U-turn. I don't. Oh, we'll make it work. Zone obviously shuts down Celesteela. And actually a lot of his team. I know are toxic. Rocks plus knockoff Kartana plus Rocks plus. We are gonna have an interesting game here because Landorus is a serious problem, and for that reason, I'm expecting him to commit to Hippowdon. Moltres threw me off, certainly, for a couple of reasons, but didn't expect Moltres. The upside of this is the fact that no sand is up, and it's likely that you'll have to force the Coco in. So flamethrowers, and so now it's a situation where you have to go to Coco every time. You could Vaporeon hard. That's a possibility, but the likelier case is that he's going to go straight to Tapu Koko, because I have Scald. He risks the likelihood of getting not burnt, what am I trying to say? Getting burnt. That is what I meant. And so Landorus is far too important to send it on a Tapu Koko. Far too important. Whereas, Magnezone is important. Like with a sub up is actually pretty dangerous if Hippowdon is gone, but I don't really have a way to deal with said Hippowdon. And so even though I'd like Rillaboom to be at full, the likelihood is that we're gonna get nice. So this is actually phenomenal positioning. Two reasons, but I'm like Moltres coming in. I'm hoping that we just get to. I tried not to say the words in hopes that it wouldn't happen. But as you can see, the first knockoff did 62. There's a high likelihood that he may have died to the second one, but that also implies that he's offensive. And so the Roost comes out. This allows for us to Stealth Rock as the Hippowdon comes out, and Landorus is still healthy and the Moltres is battered. So what that now means is whenever I click a grass move, which is why I didn't want Bulu burnt. Not Bulu. Rillaboom burnt. So I could Grassy Terrain spam on this. Now there's still that option, because I can go hard Kartana here, and there's very little he can do about it. Celesteela slash I really don't want this one hexed too. So what I'm actually gonna do is go to my Landorus as a pivot, because he's gonna either stay in an Earthquake or go to Moltres. And so he pivots to Dracozolt, which makes sense. And this allows for a free Earthquake on the off chance he goes for a sub, or decides that it's a good idea to go for like a Draco Meteor, expecting me to stay in. And so the Hippowdon's packing leftovers, which is great. This allows for me to U-turn out of Spadef, which is even better for Boom. as he goes for the slack off. And this is a free knockoff here. I mean, he could stay in, but Celesteela makes a lot of sense to me. And besides, there's very little drawback on me staying in to knock here. Worst case, I go to Kartana this next turn. But I don't want Moltres coming in for free, because it's a little harder for me to deal with, and then I have to reset terrain, which I'm not trying to do, especially if I get him to go to Moltres hard here. Taking rocks with the burn, not amazing, but he could also go for slack off, and as I said, with the leftover, probably stayed into slack off, right? And so now Kartana can come in, as I've said before, and Dracozolt can't come in here. It's tough because I'm still gonna make the same Landorus decision for the same logic as last time. He can't lose Hippowdon. And the reason I went Landorus, because Landorus can U-turn, because he doesn't want the Celesteela trapped by my zone, right? Yeah, that's what I figured. The way he's playing, he doesn't want that Celesteela trapped, and so this allows for me to fire off a Scald. This is a defogger. Rocks are up, so Coco can't come in comfortably, and if he switches this out, rocks are up for the remainder, so now I can start firing off Leaf Blades freely. So it's all just positional play, you know, putting myself in positions of power. Flip turn Vaporeon, that's very interesting. Coco has to come in at his boots. Okay, that's a little more annoying. I actually kind of wish I had, I don't like superpower on this Rillaboom. Because U-turn, you can imagine if I had U-turn versus say like a Ferrothorn, I just U-turn on it and trap it with zone, or if I had the U-turn versus a Celesteela, I could just trap it with the zone, or you know, it just makes sense to have U-turn here. And so we're gonna make that adjustment. Seeing as how he's playing Coco, I want my grassy terrain still, and I want my Magnezone still. I low-key don't need, so what I'm gonna do here, since Magnezone is not gonna take any damage from what I'm expecting to be, that's Air Balloon. What the fuck? Okay, I'm glad I'm seeing these things. I thought I was leftovers, which, you know, annoying but not devastating, because this allows for me to pivot to land out. I didn't expect him to U-turn. Doesn't matter too much, as this allows for the free switch into cart. This Vaporeon, okay, we flip turn in. Okay, that's the flip turn on Vaporeon is actually pretty bad, pretty annoying. But Rillaboom gets to come in here and he can't do anything but go into okay, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna terrain reset, and I'm going to U-turn out on you, and I'm going to sack my Moltres, and these are the things that I'm demanding. Okay, fair enough. So what I'm going to end up having to do is get the free switch into my Kartana, or kill the Moltres so that my Tapu Fini can sweep. This is not going to be as easy as I anticipated. And so mid-ground Mandibuzz, he's gonna U-turn. That's why I did that. No reason to ever Thunderbolt and risk not knocking me out there. And so this is a great position because he wants Landorus dead. So it allows for me to foul play. Bolt Beak loses him far too much momentum, right? And so this allows for me to foul play here. Do I even still want to risk the Lando? I don't. I'm gonna let the timer wear down. I'm still gonna sack Mandibuzz because Landorus is just too important. This is what's known as like positional. Actually, he doesn't have Sand Up. I just realized. So gonna foul play again. Let him Bolt Beak if he chooses to. I don't want Lando Draco, as he makes the good mid ground of like, okay, well, I'm not gonna commit to that, but if you do choose to go Lando, so he Oster Toxic, that's fine. Woodhammer is gonna knock out Vat from here. He's definitely leaving this in the way he's playing. I can win without grassy terrain. I would have liked it, but I can certainly win without it. And he's expecting me to have U-turn. He's probably wondering why I've only gone for knockoff. So this would be a great moment to sack Moltres, right? So that's out of the game. I've revealed Woodhammer, so now he has a little more to fear because I still have, yeah, well, it's not showing me my burnt attack stat, but you know, I think half that. So gotta keep, makes sense to Dazzling Gleam here, and what he doesn't want is for me to pivot to my Landers. So he may realize that I'm sacking Buzz here. He does get the roll, which is great for him, but this puts him in an awkward spot because I really could double to my Magnezone here. I'm not going to. I'm very tempted to. I'd sack something else. So yeah, it goes to Hippowdon. So that's really bad for him because now Magnezone is a huge problem. Outside, it's just strapping Celesteela. Like, it's now a true problem. And imagine leftover zone plus Rillaboom. Ooh, that's a problem. And Dracozolt obviously outspeed. And so Celesteela rears its ugly ass head in this game as I know he doesn't want it trapped. I know he can't afford to have it trapped. And so if I were my opponent, what would I do? I would maybe double the Dracozolt. I'm trying to think what, because I'd expect me to sack my Rillaboom. If I sack Rillaboom and he doubles out to Coco, it gets electric terrain back up and I'm back at that. So I'm gonna actually go Landers here. It covers every option. I won't be at full or as healthy as I'd like, but it covers every option because at this point, even if say he were to kill Landers, all I'd have to do after that is sack, trap him with Magnezone, and it's a done deal. So here he does Flamethrowers, predicting the Magnezone instead. Fair enough. So now I know if he stays in, I can sack Rillaboom. So this puts him in a checkmate spot where, like, if you leave it in, I just sack Rillaboom. He lead seeded. Well, this is fine-ish. I have to Woodhammer here. There's just no reason to. There's nothing you can do. I'm Woodhammering. Okay, so he's leaving the Celesteela in. I guess it could have been bad if he got. Yeah, it shouldn't kill me. Okay, Zone still putting in work. Okay, Zone. So that's game from Kartana. So like, imagine U-turn here and the proper Magnezone set with leftovers and grassy terrain. So this is actually, I like the structure of this team a lot. It could be just kind of a myopic lens on it because I just played one game, but you know, like, I can't complain really. And so Kart comes in and does what it does and wins. Beast Boost. I remember beginning of Sun and Moon, Kartana was no man. Like, nobody respected Kartana. GG. Nobody respected Kartana, and then it just rose up. He says fam. I wonder if he's a subscriber of mine. Usually, like, subscribers are like, yo, love your vids. Right after they say, like, the good game was just too friendly. Not to say he was like a bad guy or anything like that. Okay, this guy's 1917. Cool. He can ideally defeat this guy and then gain a tremendo amount of points afterwards. Immediately as I look at his team, I'm like, Finny sweep. But in order for that to be the case, I'll have to catch his Ferrothorn, which shouldn't be too difficult. Because Ferrothorn doesn't really carry knockoff, and it's his core Finny answer, and it's his core Cart answer. That's assuming it's heavy duty boost. So let's break this down. Landorus' core purpose is going to be to rocks and, you know, disallow Magnezone from feeling comfortable in clicking Volt Switch if that's what he has, right? I'm a mixed defense Mandibuzz, but more specially defensive. Okay speed tier, so that can be helpful for some things, but nothing too crazy. Zone's gonna be big for trapping Thorn for Finny. Rillaboom Correct move destroys the entire team. Kartana with the terrain up after Ferrothorn is gone can potentially just 6-0 him as well. And so those are the two things that I'm going to be prioritizing. I saw Magnezone is going to be a critical mine, critical, which is why I'm like, well, I'd probably try to stop me with Tornadus / Pelipper. It's actually not as easy as I'd like, because I don't want Landers to be in versus Pelipper to start the game off. So what I'm gonna end up doing is Magnezoning first, primarily to force what I'm expecting to be either like something like Weather Ball or just the switch into Seismitoad. If he Hurricanes here, king shit. But I actually don't want him to Weather Ball either. So what I'm gonna do is a mid ground into Mandibuzz in case he stays in, and it covers for Seismitoad. And so what this allows for me to U-turn, because Weather Ball is gonna hurt. I don't need Mandibuzz at full for any particular reason. It's also Rillaboom. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. I'd assume Tornadus would be his initial, but he could also be like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Wave, predicting you to not switch. What I'm gonna do, if it's a non-offensive, if it's a defensive Tornadus, I should 2-hit KO him. But he also Ferrothorn, which I was surprised by because I could have U-turned there. So that gives me some information. If I were my opponent, what would I do here? Because I don't want to give him too much leeway and expect him to not. So what I'm gonna do is Grassy Glide again as he Stealth Rock. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think he respects my Magnezone enough, and so now I'm gonna get played by him double switching out. But I did that because I'm like, if he does do that, I can go Mandibuzz and Defog. So that's what I expected him to do the first time. That's what I thought was the better of the two, because you just risk losing Ferrothorn twice. But that just lets me know kind of where he is mentally. There might not be too much foresight, or he just made a high risk play because he feels like he doesn't have the matchup. It's a number of things that it could be, but he got away with that, as this allows for Magnezone to come in. It's a question of whether or not this has yeah, actually, based on how he plays, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. It's just that the Seismitoad can get the free switch in here, which I don't want. This could also have U-turn. So I just made the game harder by not predicting and going Magnezone. Problem is, if I went zone hard on his Ferrothorn, and he doubled, it would have put me in a really bad spot. So what I should have done was made a mid ground, but I can still prevail. Just based on how he plays, I can prevail. It's just made it a lot harder for myself. So what I'm gonna do is double to Rillaboom. I'm gonna U-turn here. Let's say he does go for Sludge Wave. Can I win after that? Maybe. It makes it a lot harder though. So I'm still gonna glide. It goes to Torn, but that's what I was saying. Like, it might be a KO or like pretty close. And so Pelipper gets pivoted in, which means he was fairly confident that I'd switch. I'm thinking, so he didn't need to U-turn there. Like, there was no reason to. But I mean, he gets the cart in, so the Seismitoad in, which is good for him. I got to give up Lando, obviously. I keep going for glide, he can't go into Torn this time. And if I glide his Seismitoad, he's fucked. And I've been using pretty obvious moves thus far. So I'd anticipate him to... If he predicts me here, kudos. Because I can't risk him doubling again. I guess I can. If I go Magnezone as Ferrothorn, can I win? This is a tough one. Because he may feel like, okay, I'm way in the lead. Like, I don't need to predict. And if I get messed up by Magnezone, I'm fucked. Like, if I give him Magnezone. So he does go to Ferrothorn, finally. I disagree. I would never have gone Ferrothorn. This is why I'm saying that. Like, I would never have gone Ferrothorn on this. Especially if he's not pressed. Sure, he gets the spikes up. But he might just get swept by this. Like, straight up. Let me make sure I guarantee knockout Seismitoad. Yeah. So Thorn is gone. Wait, what? Oh, Chopple. Okay. Thorn is gone. Toad's about to be gone. And then he struggles killing me after that. That's why I'm like, but maybe he didn't expect me to be this kind of Magnezone. As I said, Toad's dead. Now what? Now what? Heat Wave. And so now Kartana can come in and just click Sacred Sword potentially. Rillaboom comes in and destroys. Magnezone too much. Too much. Too much. And then Tapu Fini just like, there's just no hope now. Cause I go Boonga. Boonga. And he's probably banded. I mean, not banded. He's probably if he sacks Pelipper, then I just Sacred Sword through his squad. And so Zone comes in. We always go to Fini here. It's called Iron Press. I'm thinking if he starts Iron Defensing back. Well, Sacred Sword goes through the boost. So let's see how much this is doing. Yeah. Sacred Sword goes through the boost. I'm pretty sure Secret Sword or Sacred Sword, one of them. But I figured this was an option though. So what I should have done instead. Maybe I just messed up. No, I definitely just messed up. Because even if he Volt Switched, it was a checkmate. That's actually was a horrible play by me. So if he has sub, he's gonna go for it now. T-Bolt might not even kill me if he has it. Thunder though, Thunder will definitely do it. But I still think it's Gucci. Well, nah, I just messed up there. I did all that work just to mess up there. Going to Fini was no drawback. If he thundered there, I went back to Rillaboom, wood hammered, and he couldn't sub. Like the one set he could have been. So for all the shit I was talking, I just messed up. So what would I need for him to do to lose? I'd need for him to... Okay. I don't know if Cart kills though. It doesn't. Yeah. So I actually just completely threw that game. But you live, you learn. I don't know why I didn't think that through. I hate when I have the games and I don't think the end game through. Because I'm like, oh, I just guarantee win. That's what happens. But you should also always think your end game out. Because exactly what I figured would happen happened. And then I thought that, okay, well, but if he could be Iron Defense too, then I should account for that. Because if I went to Fini, get the skull damage off. Also, if he stayed in on... I could also win another way if I stayed in. You're probably like, why didn't you just stay in with Rillaboom and Grassy Glide again and let him kill you? That was a 50-50 because if he subbed, I was fucked, you know? And so the better play, guaranteed win, was just to go Finny on that turn, and I'd have been done. It's just been done. But live you learn, won't make that mistake again. And so this is looking very Finnyable. He guards very poorly against landers. Very weird team considering how like no grounders just Polt is shut down by Polton, somewhat Mandeville shut down, but more so Polt. Zone's interesting but not crucial, and then he just gets ran through by my grass type. So overwhelm, just Melmetal early and click Leaf Blade. It's gonna be pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward game. So clear body Dragapult, interesting. Perhaps Dragon Draco Meteor. So he's choice banded, which is interesting. This is his rocker. Oh, he could maybe not be. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just Stealth Rock. That's my gut saying this has Ice Beam. Like, his team is so ground weak that it would only make sense. So I'm actually gonna U-turn here. Is he okay? One of these kind of players. Gotcha. All right, so just gonna go to this. Leaf Blade guarantees value out of the turn. Forces in Melmetal. If it's a banned Mel, I could understand why he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just try my best to avoid certain situations. I always go Lander because Lander 1 doesn't die in any one hit, and 2, that's banded. I don't know Melmetal that well. Like, it's super strong, so it's like hard to say. Earthquake here is free game. Okay, so he's not banded. So Rocks plus Leaf Blade goes in, and Grassy Glide's about to go in. But I would have liked to have Rocks there. Full show. But a lot of these don't carry EQ, I don't think. Who cares? Let's find out. It might be better to just Iron Defense. Yeah. But as I said, I just need the damage. Plus Finny sweeps him. So that's another thing. Me going for Woodhammer here knocks out, stops any switches, and forces in Polt, which is Mandibuzz fodder because it's banded. Actually, Officer Garchomp. I wonder why. He just wants my Grassy Glider gone. So like maybe he's Rocky Helmet. How would I want to go about this? Because if he's not, and he's like a Life Orb SD, then that's why I'm like, why would you go Chomp? Like, Chomp never kills me. Poison Banded fucking Chomp with Life Orb Chomp with what the fuck? So no drawback cart play here. Pretty sure Dragapult dies in 1. But if not, then Finny, he's banded, so Finny gets a free CM. Let's go Polt first, right? So we get to see him because I know he's gonna Phantom Force, but he's banded, and I Calm Mind again, right? And so I'm pretty much at full, kinda. And now he's like grass fodder, which again we saw in the beginning of the game. That's why I played this one a little more recklessly because I saw the openings. And this seems to be Scarf. Generally, I don't need to see him up. Is he getting? Yeah, he's definitely Scarf. I'm surprised I've gotten no. Let's just Dranicus again. There's no point in. I'm surprised he's gotten no special attack drops, like other than 1. So Rapid Strike, which was even worse for Kartana. Like if it was single, then some hope maybe, but beyond that. So I'm actually shocked. I'm not shocked. I am tight that I had thrown away that Sometimes I need. That's actually part of the reason why I play more slowly. If you notice this live, I really just and really just told y'all what I was doing, but I wasn't giving you guys time to actually break it down and keep up. It's pretty fast. Some people like it like that when they're more experienced. Others like the slower. Okay, I can keep up and understand why Jam did such and such, but no excuse for that choke. That's what that was. But yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed everything else. Super cool team. The link will always be in the description below. Check it out. I think you'll have a good time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.